What's up, my good people? Ooh, we have some people in here. You guys, can you hear that okay? I got this new MacBook Pro yesterday, and I've fully got to get my live stream on. Okay, can you guys actually hear? I have like this little looper pedal going. So if you're watching this live, drop some questions. I absolutely got to get this live stream game going on. I'm here alone. Check out this new DGT. This thing is sick. This is the SE model. So these things were like $750. And I would fully play this thing like no matter how much I wanted to spend on a guitar. This thing is incredible. Oh, and there's the new Les Paul right there. There's the new Studio. That thing's incredible. So if you guys have any questions, so you know what? If you're watching this live, great, drop a question. If you're watching this in post, I needed like the loose framework of, let's say, a live stream. So what I want to do is talk about some triads, connecting chords, just kind of like a low-key thing, like a little guitar hang and how to practice, kind of what I'm working on. So I went to Hawaii for a week, got to get the chops back. So let's do this. Let's take and drop if you know in the comments. So if we took a C to an A minor, well, what would that be? So a C to A minor would be what? It would be a 1 to 6 chord progression. But let's see if we wanted to build that out even a little bit further. So what if we did a 1, and what if we went to the 5 chord, which is G, okay? And then we went to the minor 6. Okay, and you can pull that up right out of the scale too. So you should all know this C major scale with starting with the root note and the low E. So I'm up here on the 8th fret. So just play it. Here's the pattern. I'll talk about my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you've seen any of my other videos and you see those chord charts I make, I'm always circling the root note in red. I'm always circling the 3rd in blue and the 5th in black. So you just do this. Here's a great way. Just C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So there's the 1, C, and then we're playing the 5, G, and then we're playing the 6, the relative minor right here, A minor, okay? Now, so what you would want to do is just create like a little chord progression. See if you can mix things up from like the straight bar chord, straight. So we'll do a C bar chord. Let's try a G. And let's try an A minor, okay? So that's a 1, 1, 5, 6 chord progression. Now, what you want to do is you want to mix things up by trying to use triads, not playing the full bar chord. I know you guys have seen videos of me doing this. So like to the triad, okay? Now here's that triad. Just look real close. I'm doing on the D, G, B string. So right there, see that shape? Oops, sorry, wrong notes, okay? See that C major triad shape? That's C, E, G, or 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, okay? And then we'll slide it down to the G. See if I can get that in the camera for you better there. G, B, D, G, B, D. These are just little things you got to do, okay? And then here's the A minor triad inside on the same string set. I'm just shifting down C to G. Now A minor, what do you got to do here? You got to flat the 3rd, which means move it a half step lower. So you bar on the G and B string on the 5th fret. So that's A, C, E. And it's just like when you're a kid and you're learning math. These are just things you got to learn. So if we were to do something, what if we went from the bar to the triad, okay? Bar to the triad, to the bar, to the triad. Now here's what's cool. I'm always saying too, situational awareness, right? So you need to be aware, like what's around this triad right here. Well, I have the A minor pentatonic right there, okay? So you could play like a little lick out of there. So if you're going bar to the triad, bar to the triad. And most important thing is you gotta keep the groove going. So either use a pick or use fingers, okay? I love using my fingers a lot. So Sometimes I've been using my fingers too much, so I got to get the pick back a little bit. But you can go back and forth too. You can like do that, and you can switch on the fly. So watch this. I'm gonna do the bar to the triad, bar to the triad, bar to the triad. And again, I just finished the playlist today of every single major triad and all 4 string sets. And I show you how to move them to any key. So that's going to make your playing so powerful. So what if we go C to C triad, G to G triad, A to A minor triad. So A minor bar to A minor triad. And then do like a little lick in that pentatonic. Now, here's another thing you want to know too. I was watching some random videos today because I'm like you, I watch YouTube. That's pretty much all I watch. And there was this John Mayer video on the equator, right? The pentatonic equator. So you see this A minor pentatonic I'm doing, okay? Now you notice I'm going to use all the notes on the 5th fret, okay? So drop me a comment, drop me a question if you have any questions. But also you want to know this A minor pentatonic position down here like this. Oops, excuse me. And that's great because you can go back and forth between those shapes. Now, you also want to see this. And trust me, there's so much in music. You'll never know it all. It's so deep. You need to see there's a C major scale right there, okay? And look, you're right inside of that A minor pentatonic shape. Now, why? Because C major and A minor have all the same notes, right? So you guys can hear that okay, right? So this MacBook, I'm not sure. You know what? I do notice the webcam on the MacBook is amazing. So if you want to get a little groove going, let's try. Okay, right there. I want you guys to see that. So many players do not use this, but watch this. I'm going to go real slow, okay? I want you to outline the triad. I've done videos on these, but they've tanked. But that's what YouTube is. You just make a video, trying to help people. If it does great, great. If not, you just make it again. So watch this. Right here on this C major scale, so there's the root, okay? I'm going to play root. There's on the low E on the 8th fret, and then I'm going to go to the 7th fret on the A. That's the 3rd, C, E. And then I'm going to go to the 10th fret, and I'm going to get that 5th. 1, 3, 5. Okay, now I'm going to outline the chord with a bass line. Then I go to the G. I'm on the same strings, the E and A strings. See, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. This is why you're going to want to learn all this stuff. And it doesn't come overnight. It's just a little bit of practice. Now, the minor chord you can outline, you take the root. I like to do my 3rd finger because I got to grab the minor 3rd back here on the 3rd fret. So, and then what I do is I go root, minor 3rd, so A to C. So just watch my fret hand to C. And then I hit the 4th, right there, D, and I slide into the minor pentatonic scale. So it's like this. Watch. This is what makes playing so much fun. If you're all by yourself in the room like I am right now, you guys drop in the comments where you are. What's up? Sean plays guitar. Yeah, man, I got to do more of these. So you guys, I've been love hearing like, where are you guys in the world? Because I got to figure out when to do these live streams. And I've been lagging on these, but I'm going to start mixing these in a lot more because I just want to interact with you guys in real time. So again, see, you got the music theory part, right? You got the language of music. Music is like crazy hard because forget about the technicality of playing the instrument. You got to learn the language, and you got to have it make sense. Or I'm always saying connect the dots, connect the dots. It's got to connect the dots in your head. And then you have to learn how to actually put it onto the instrument, making something musical. So like, what if we were to do, this could be the beginning of a song, right? So we're just picking the keys C because there's no sharps or flats. But so we did C, G to A minor, okay? All bar chords with the root note on the low E. Now, obviously, somebody that doesn't advance past a certain level, they're going to get stuck in that. This is where we hit plateaus as musicians. They're going to get stuck playing the bar chords. And bar chords are rough, man. They're not easy. That's why I play them a lot like this, thumb over. I don't even care if I get the root note. Most of the time I'm not. I'm just getting that muted. So and always keep that little internal drummer inside your head, right? Washington State, man, awesome. Yeah, so this is I haven't played this. I got this DGT not too long ago. This is the PRS. This thing is really killer. It's got a gloss stick, so I don't know if I'm gonna sand that. So that McCarty over here, this like kind of ocean blue one. Actually, I'm a freak. I name all my instruments. That one's named Ocean. I sanded all the gloss off that neck, but this one, I think I'm gonna keep it. It's not as sticky. But anyways, I know I'm all over the place. Hence the fun of these live streams. So a beginner or an intermediate's going to get stuck in that bar chord land. What you want to do is you want to start differentiating your playing by breaking it down. So that's why I'm trying to, I just finished, go on the channel, look for the playlist on all the major triads. I show you every single major triad on all 4 string sets. So like every single C, I don't tell you what, I emphasize the 1, 3, 5 so you can move it to any key. So like, you need to know stuff like this. Like this is let's just do this. Since we're in the key of C, watch. See this shape right here? This is we're going to do the EAD string set. These are 3 C major triads. Now watch, they're all different flavors. It's just like cooking. So this one's beautiful. And this is such a cool chord shape. This is so many people, this is really rough on a lot of people, but I'm on the EAD string. So that's C, E, G. That's the 1, 3, 5. And then you've got this one here with the root note on the 12th fret. That's a 351, meaning the 3rd, 5th, and 1. And this one's beautiful. This is a 513 where you have the G in the bass. You see, it looks like an E. It looks like I'm playing an E major chord, but I'm playing it. So see that flavor? Now what you can do is practice picking between those like this. These are all C major triads. Okay. Now, the reason you want to learn all your triads all over the neck is so you can take whatever flavor you want and you can put it in your playing. So some of my favorite triad sets, though, are on the DGB string because they're in the middle of the strings. And so you can get a really percussive thing like so, but anyways, let's go back to the chord progressions. So C, G, A minor. So if there's one thing you walk away from this with, just try and do the bar to the triad, okay? And I'm going to do the triads on the DGB string set. I know I already showed you that, but one more time, okay? So C bar, and then to this triad. You're going to see this shape. Every player in the world uses this. I remember I used to see this shape. John Frusciante, the Peppers, Jimi Hendrix, and my teachers never taught me what that was. Unfortunately, they could have told me. They should have said, hey, when you're playing the C, when you're playing the bar chord, strip it down. There's your triad right inside the bar chord. It lives in there, okay? Same thing. So listen to how good it sounds. If we get rid of the pick and you want to get really percussive like this, okay? Got a little reverb on solo. Watch. Bar, triad, bar, triad, bar, triad, bar, triad, bar, triad. Shank. But the most important thing you want to do is you always want, you should play with a metronome, yes. I don't hardly ever play with a metronome anymore because I'm either recording, which I got to do lots more of, do some recording sessions, or just try and build an internal rhythm. You've seen a lot of my videos, I'm going, so just get that going without even the chord. A lot of times too, you're not even going to be playing any notes. Listen, everything is about musicality, right? So what you're going to try and do is you're going to try and never drop the groove. I got to hang out. There was a guy, unfortunately, he passed away. I got to meet Prince's drummer, John Blackwell, and I hung out with him quite a few times. I was supposed to do a session with him, and then he died, unfortunately. He got some brain thing. But most flexible chord shape for sure. Absolutely, absolutely. But this guy could play anything. But he just said, you just never drop the groove, right? The groove is everything. If you play 100 songs with crazy solid tight rhythm, with feel and vibe, you don't need a guitar solo. I mean, I don't know, when you're younger, right? You guys agree with that? When you're younger, you get all like the flash in the pan. I know when I started, I was like all impressed by Metallica solos, but then I realized when I ended up in a 3-piece band, bass, drums, and guitar, your rhythm is paramount to everything you do on the guitar, right? So you want to get that. That's why I'm always emphasizing these bars to triad. It's such a good rhythm exercise. And try and do it with and without a pick, okay? So if you're doing it with the pick, just go like this. Also, another thing, this part of your hand is your friend, right? Because what is it doing? It's all your left and right hands are like a drummer, right? So what I'm saying is you got to learn how to really get efficient with your muting. So I'd say probably one of the most important things, without question, just let me know what you guys think in the comments, is absolutely muting, right? So muting, just, you don't want those unwanted strings in your playing. So you want to get that. See, I'm just kind of lightly resting it. I'm not over muting it. I'm just, it's like a feel, a touch thing. So just keep the groove going. See if you can do, watch this, try this. Let's take, everyone learns this. This is still like the default. Is it me or is this the default pentatonic that everybody learns still? The minor pentatonic, which could be a major pentatonic depending on where you're using it. But remember the good old, the pattern, 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4. Okay. Yes, Sean plays guitar. Absolutely. It is the very life force. It is so true. You know what? So many players get there's so many muting techniques, right? Like this one, especially the thumb over. I get more comments and questions about that. I don't have small hands, but I don't have big hands. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking me for me to make a video on players with small hands. But I think as humans, we adapt, right? So you're gonna find a way to get that thumb over. A lot of it's just moving your wrist, people, and don't squeeze the neck like it's a lemon. Like you can't squeeze the life out of this thing. You definitely want to get like that groove going. So see if you can try and do this bar chord to the triad and just go back and forth like this. Sometimes you got to just take your strumming hand out of it. Just go like this. It may seem silly, but it works. Just sit on the couch when you're binge watching Netflix, right? Like I was binge watching Chips today on Amazon Prime. That was quite. Have you ever seen Chips? All right, classic. All right, so like this, back and forth, just bar to triad, bar to triad, bar to triad, bar to triad, bar to triad. Then, once you get comfortable with that, see if you can add in the strumming hand. So now you see how my thumb is fully coming over. Where people were getting confused is they were seeing, so I'm playing a C major bar chord to a C triad, right? Well, they see my thumb. Someone actually made this comment, I remember it specifically, and they said, well, why are you playing a C sharp? They saw my thumb on the 9th fret and the low E, and I said, well, I'm not actually playing the E or A. Okay, so I'm just muting that. Now, if I wanted to emphasize that root note, I could. I don't really care about that. That's another thing that people that learn to play guitar, or people that played for 30, 40 years. I had one of my mom's friends, he's played for years, and he didn't understand. It's okay. He didn't understand. You don't have to play every single string in the bar chord. See? If you can't get that to sound out, it's all about musicality. So if you could only just get part of the bar chord, sometimes you're fretting the whole bar chord, right? And you're just emphasizing part of it, right? Maybe you want the high end. Maybe you want the mid-range, maybe you want the low end. It all depends on the situation you're in. Like in my rock band that I'm starting, it's a 3-piece. There's a bass there, so I don't have to emphasize the low end as much, right? So I might play the triad more, let her hold down the low end, okay? So again, triads. Now here's another thing you want to do. If you want to strip it down even further, anyone that's watching right now, are you guys familiar with intervals? Intervals, the distance between two notes, right? So this is a C bar chord again. This is one of my favorites, root to the third. So drop the pick. This sounds killer. Watch. Let's see what. That's a good one, root 3. So then this, okay, so you have these different intervals, but you're always pedaling off the root note. So. Those sound amazing, especially if you want to think about like parts of a song, right? So you take things like full chords, right? Triads, intervals, okay? What if we just did something where we, let's do this C, I'll play the C bar to the triad. When I go to the G, instead of playing the bar, I'm gonna play the intervals to that triad, and then let's just slap, let's pick and flick that full A minor. So watch this, here we go. See, sorry. So those are literally things I do when I'm practicing. I'm not really thinking. I'm never thinking in terms of. You have to have situational awareness, right? Do you guys get what I'm saying by that? Like, you want to situationally know where you are at all times, but you don't want to like let that overtake the flow of your playing. So yeah, I'm here. I know I've got that. I know I've got the triad. I know I've got the intervals. I know I've got a C major scale right here. Then when I go to the G, same thing. I know I got a G major scale there. I've got the G major triad, or I could do intervals. And the A minor, I know when I get to the A minor, I'm keenly aware of that A minor pentatonic, okay? With the root note on the low E, the one we all learned from day one. Every single guitar teacher defaults to this. You know what? If I were to give guitar lessons again to somebody, or if I could go back in time, the first thing I would want my teacher to show me is that those triads live inside those bar chords. Watch. See, think of what a good exercise that is, just going back and forth. Okay, here's another huge one. Tell me if you guys know this, be honest, whether you're watching this live or in post. Okay, this one was like a light bulb moment. And again, I'm like, you kick yourself because, yeah, I learned this years ago, but I've been playing for quite a while before I saw this. And I'm like, Durr. Okay, this A minor pentatonic shape, right? Look at okay, when you get to the G string, yeah, triads really helped me playing in a band. I wish I would have learned them sooner. Provide so much space between other instruments. Yeah, triads are amazing. I will tell you guys this, and I'll get back to what I was going to share with you, and then tell me if you know about this. If you can play with other musicians, that'll make you better than anything. Like, but there's nothing wrong. If you're going to just sit in a bedroom and you're going to play by yourself and you never play against, that's fine. But don't be afraid to play with other musicians. Like, go out, because you have to, it's give and take with other musicians. So I play in an acoustic duet with my friend Max. Well, I play acoustic and he plays electric, and it actually works out great. But a lot of times we're never playing the same chord voicings, right? So like if he's playing a C down here, like the C open shape, I might be playing the triad here. I might be playing the C triad here. I might be playing it here. right? So look at, so there's so many things you need to learn as far as like where to put, you know, space, right? Where to strip things down. But so many people just get stuck in plateaus and they don't put in the work, right? So ask questions, watch these videos, watch other people's videos, take notes, right? So I got this new iPad Pro. I take so many notes. So I've been playing like 32 years now. I'm still learning every day. I'm just like you. But here, let me go back to my point, okay? This will be like, I don't like the word tips or tricks, but it's like, it's not really a trick. It's more of a tip. But inside of the A minor, okay, you have right there, and this is like a duh moment for me, but for a lot of people, you have the C major scale, right? So root note right there. So why is that important? Because C is it's the relative major to A minor. It's the C's that 1 and A minor is the 6, right? So C major, da, 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 da. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? Now that's how you can start mixing major minor. You just take notes from the major, throw them in if you're in the minor pentatonic, and those are like color tones. So like, watch. Let's just vamp on this A minor. What I'll do here, the first half, is I'll just stay on the A minor pentatonic. Now let's throw in part of the C major scale. Let's throw in that note, maybe the 7. Let's see. That's really killer too. You can take the 7 and slide into the 1. Watch this. Shank. See that? Da, da. Sometimes too, just hit a root and hit another note and just get some ear training, right? Da, 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 da. You have to think like a vocalist, right? Or there's another killer thing you can do with just a pentatonic shape. Just kind of take your thumb, okay? If your hands are too small, don't worry. Just see if you can get. Everyone, here's another thing. So many people neglect using octaves too. Octaves sound killer in any music. I don't care what the genre is. Right? Now, another thing you can do too is try and take a C major triad somewhere else and throw it in with that A minor, vamping on this A minor, right? Bar chord. See if you can take the C triad way up here. And I just finished the playlist today. So I finished all, like, check, here's a C major triad. I think this is a 5-13 too, yeah, because it's got G, C, E, okay? So meaning 5, 1, 3. So watch this. That's another great thing. Watch this. I'm just throwing out nuggets of gold like this guitar. So you can try things like this too, even though I'm playing the GBE, high E, triad, C major triad. That's just like that D shape. That's why I don't really, cage system's fine. And I know I'm jumping all over, but this is part of that D shape cage, but this is a C major triad. See if you can go back and forth. So you notice that takes a certain level of control. Let me pull this down a tiny bit. A certain level of control for me to just hit those strings, and then I can do the full range here. I can kind of loosen up my strumming hand, right? So like, okay, that's why I try and get rid of the pick, okay? Because your thumb, it's like you got a thumb and 4 picks now, okay? Get that real percussive thing. So you see what I'm doing there, I'm playing a C major triad on the G, B, high E, and then I'm just going into the full A minor bar chord. So you can get really percussive. It makes the sound bigger, okay? I think this MacBook Pro is going to be pretty sweet for these live streams. So yeah, just let me know. I got to kind of figure out my volume settings. Oh, in case you're wondering, I have, let me show you guys real quick just for funsies. I don't know if you guys, have you guys ever heard of Rev? That little head right there? Wait, there it is. That's like a little tube hybrid head. Thing is amazing. It's got a 420 watt setting, and then I've got a Mojo Tone like custom cab, and then way too many pedals. I'm always trying to figure out what to do here, which I never can seem to figure out. I'll show you some of the guitars too. I know I'm all over the place. So that black one over there, where is it? That one. I got a Schecter. You got anyone here play Schecter? Okay, thanks, Sean. Cool. It's hard to know how things are going to translate through these little microphones. The Schecter over there, I never play that thing. It's an incredible guitar. That one there's the Jason Isbell Telly. That guitar, amazing. So I don't know if you heard of Tim Shaw pickup maker. His Tim Shaw pickups are in that. That thing's incredible. The neck on that thing is glorious. There's the new Les Paul Studio. That thing's awesome. I know a lot of Les Paul people were moaning and groaning because they put binding on the neck in the studios. They don't traditionally do that. There's the McCarty 594. Amazing. The neck on that thing is quite substantial. Then you got to have a Les Paul P90s. Oh, and here's my oldest electric over here. That's I used to tour in my band with that for years. That's a Strat, like a 96 American. It's Inca Silver. And then somewhere over here, oh yeah, check out acoustic corner over here. I'll just show you real quick. There's my acoustics up there. So those are sweet. My mom gave me that 75 Guild D50. Dude, that Yamaha, that red label, where is it? This one right here. That thing, man, if you guys have never played Yamaha red label, those are amazing. And then I got a Martin that I've had for years that's awesome. Oh yeah, check this out too. That is a really trippy telly I got. That guitar is amazing too. Came with like DiMarzio's. It's got a neck through. It's not a bolt-on neck. I think I got that in New York City. Yeah, Sean, you know what's up. Red label, Yamahas all day. You guys, I have played everything in the studio. Like I did a lot of studio work back in Florida. I did them in New York City. The Yamahas, I cannot. You guys, if you watch any of my videos where I'm playing that Yamaha red label, just listen to how good it sounds coming through. Yeah, thanks, Isaac. The collection is pretty sick. I don't know what I'm going to do with the Schecter. It's awesome. But I'm going to tell you guys this. Don't sleep on any of these PRSs, SEs. We're at a point in the world now where these are so good. I'm going to admit, I was snobbish back in the day. I would have been the guy that wouldn't play an Epiphone, but I got Epiphones later. Or I wouldn't play a guitar if it said SE. But I went into the music store here and played the core models, which are like $4,500. And yeah, maybe they're a little bit better, but not really. Not like $4,000 better. Like this DGT kills. This thing crushes. That SE, the McCarty 594, that thing's amazing. The studio for the price? God, I can't even figure out where to point. Over here. Yeah, that one. Sorry. That guitar, amazing. They put the Burstbucker Pros in that, and I actually like the binding on the neck. And then I've got the special with P90s. Anybody here play P90s? The P90s are amazing. But yeah, so check out some of the PRSs. This one, the trim system is super, super solid on it. I like this one. It's just got the little moon inlays. It's kind of cool having at least one. I was the guy too that hated PRS because I don't know if you guys know this. Tell me what you guys think. Any PRS players in here? But PRS guitars, this is going to sound stupid to say this. You guys are going to know what I mean though. They feel too perfect. They're too consistent, which is a really stupid thing to say. So I've owned about 4 or 5 in the past, got rid of all of them. The PRSs are so consistently made. They're so perfect that they feel like they felt too sterile in my hands. But when I got this DGT and I got the oh yeah, yeah. Are you talking about like Isaac the headstock? Isaac says he's never liked how they looked. Are you talking about the headstock on him? Let's see. Can I get that in the camera? The headstocks. Yeah, I remember. You guys remember what an uproar it was when John Mayer went and started playing for PRS, and everyone was up in arms with the Silver Sky, because it's basically, look, there's so many body styles you can copy. You got the T, the S, Strat, Telly. You got the Les Paul bodies, but everyone was freaking because all the PRS haters don't like the headstocks. But I will say, this guitar, love, 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 love it. It's a good feeling when you love all of your guitars equally, because they all do different things and they all make you play different ways. But the McCarty too, the 594, and I don't know if you know the background on that, but McCarty, when he made a few, I don't know how many Les Pauls are out there with the 24.594-inch scale length neck, but they have a very slinky, cool feel. I was kind of tripping on the 594 though. If you've never played that, the 594 has like a baseball bat neck. Sean, you played a Mark Holcomb PRS at Guitar Center and still think about it. It was used and I didn't buy it until I should have. Yeah, you know what? Drop in the comments too. I know that name, Mark Holcomb. Obviously, he's in some band. Yeah. A 145 blues turnaround. You know what? I'll kind of show you. Let's do this. I want to show you something really cool with a 145. Let's do this. Let's do something a little different. I want you guys to watch this. Okay, this is really killer. Let's switch gears here. And then Sean, drop in the comments who the Mark Holcomb is. Massively massive. So if you did a let's do a C. Let's do C. We'll do C. We'll do a CFG. So that's a 145, right? C, F, G. Okay. Now, if you want to jam, would you say it's reasonable to have multiple guitars with? Yeah, all my guitars have different pickups, every single one, and then we'll get to this 145. So that Les Paul has P90s. You will just, nothing sounds like P90s. If you want P90s, you got to get a guitar with P90s. They're in between humbuckers. They're in between. Oh, Periphery. Okay, that I knew the name. Yeah. And that Misha, whatever guy's in Periphery too. Oh, no, Periphery. Yeah, I think so. Or am I thinking of the Tim Henson kid? Is that no, that's Polyphia. Periphery and Polyphia, sorry. But the 594 has different pickups. This has like the David Grissom, like he custom modeled these. Then the Les Paul's got the Burstbucker Pros, right? That Jason Isbell, that's a Mexi Telly. That thing's got the Tim Shaw pickups. And then this thing over in the far corner. Okay, so that one, the Schecter, I don't want to say I don't like it. It's got Lundgren pickups. They're way too hot for me. Like, they don't clean up. I was going to do like a metal project for this guy's record. It never came to fruition. Honestly, my metal chops are probably horrible right now, but I got the guitar for the project. We didn't do the project, so I'm probably going to get rid of the Schecter. And it's an incredible guitar. Periphery equals a Polyphia prototype. Okay. Massively massive. Yeah, check this out. I want you guys to do this for 145s. This is why you guys go check out my Music Theory Monday thing. I'm putting out a music theory thing where I break down the circle of fifths. I show you the key we're in, how to build every chord in that major scale. And then I've been showing you how to apply that, because none of this means anything. But let's say if we took a, and then I got to hop off the stream here in a minute, but super stoked you guys are here. Thank you. C, F, G, right? So that's the 145. Now what I would do is when you go the 1, when you go to the 4, okay? Have you guys ever seen this move? That, where you slide. Do you guys know what I'm doing right there? Watch this. So if I go from the C, let's say a C major bar chord, I'm going to go to the 4, the F, right? When I go like this, so F. So all I'm doing, that's why I'm hammering these triads, is I'm just sliding into a triad inversion of the F. And the G, the 5, and back to the C. Now, if you want to do like a bluesy kind of thing, I would try and use the A minor pentatonic, right? Because that's the relative minor in the key. So think of the turnaround as a little lick inside of the A minor pentatonic. Now, it's your choice. You choose where you want to pull notes from the pentatonics in multiple positions, right? So I'm going to just go with that standard one we all know. Okay, watch this. So I'll do like a little turnaround using the minor pentatonic, but I'm going to do those little inversion moves because they sound killer. You guys have all heard this. See. C to the 4 to the 5 to the C to the turnaround. Does that make sense? Massively massive. Does that like work for you? Do you kind of see what I was doing there? And you can move it to any key you want. But I like doing that because you get to do those inversions on the 4 and 5 chord, right? 2, you know what you guys ever do with the 4 to the minor 4? How killer that sounds. So if you're doing C to the 4 to the 5, but let's reverse it. Let's go 1 C to the 5 G, and let's go 4 F to the minor 4. It's amazing too when you start having these light bulb moments where you hear these sounds and then you start attaching them to things you know. So watch this. Yeah, good, Isaac. Yeah, you guys listen. I mean, I'm just like you. I'm just trying to get better. I've been playing forever. I mean, I get my whole career is in music, so I'm pretty lucky to do what I do. And the music business is tough now. My old band is still touring. They're called Safety Orange. If you want to look them up, Safety Orange. But they're kind of like beach reggae rock. But I started that band back in the mid 90s, early 90s, and we toured all over. We did pretty well. But yeah, I got to get back to making songs. You guys, should we do some like live streams where we write songs, where I open up Logic or Pro Tools and we produce? Because I've worked as a producer. I've written for artists. I've helped write to kind of help artists grow for different like indie labels and stuff like that. So I think it'd be cool. Yay. So I can play A minor pentatonic. Yeah. You know why you can play A minor over C? Is because it's all the same notes. So, you know, again, no rules. What you got to do is just try things. Like, I know people get all confused by modes too. What everyone doesn't understand is, watch this. Let's do 2 modes. Let's just do 1 mode, right? So if we start, I'm gonna keep the root note on the low E. So if we play a C, right? What would the 2 chord be? Okay, it'd be D minor. I'm just moving right up on the low E. What would the 3 chord be? It would be E minor. Now, here's what I want you to realize, okay? Eventually, you'll know this. Some of you guys know this. Drop in the comments. Let me know if this makes sense. So the 1 chord, this is Ionian. That's the fancy word for major, right? The mode, Ionian. I know. When I started learning this, I was like, what the heck does this even mean? And then you got Dorian, right? The minor 2. Everything you do, everything in the Western musical scale is based off of the major scale, everything. So just get as tight as you can in the major. And then the minor 3, E minor. Now what you can do there is, what is the 3rd? Does anybody here know what's the 3rd mode in C major? What's the 3rd mode? Or the 3rd mode from any major scale, right? So it's just another scale, okay? And it would be Phrygian, right? So if we did E Phrygian, so you just learn it. If there's one cool thing my guitar teacher taught me from back in the day, it was how to play all the modes with the root note starting on the E, right? Now, some of the modes are much more usable. Dorian, Phrygian, Mixolydian, obviously Aeolian, which is just the minor scale. And then you strip that down to the pentatonic, which is 5 notes, right? So like, listen to this. So you guys will recognize this sound instantly. Watch this. There's E Phrygian. So how could we use that with the C major scale, right? And this is where you start growing as a musician, where you start branching Yes, massively massive, Phrygian. I don't think I can never spell that right. But watch. What if we did C? I just went straight from a C bar chord. I arpeggiated, which I picked part of the chord. And then I rolled up here to E Phrygian. See if you can just learn this pattern. Look, it's just, look it up. Look up E Phrygian with the root note on the low E. I think I discovered too, you guys know that Cure song? It dawned on me too that he was just walking Phrygian down while pedal toning the high E. And if I'm speaking a foreign language, don't worry, this is all going to click for you guys eventually. Just, you got to connect the dots one little piece at a time. But that's a really good song. I think we should do one here where we strip it down, right? But Phrygian is just a beautiful minor mode. It's a minor. Smashing Pumpkins had a song too called I Am One, where he goes, I remember that. I knew that he was playing Phrygian. So that's where you start connecting the dots, when you start attaching it to artists or songs you already know. That's where it gets exciting, right? But God, it just never ends. But that's what's cool about it too. All right, so C, let's see if we can do that 1, 4, 5. And then let's see if we can throw in the minor pentatonic. And then maybe some E Phrygian. And this is, again, connecting the dots. Is it the same notes as C major scale? Yeah, that's exactly it. Massively massive, you said it perfectly. That's all it is. That's what people get confused. It's all the same notes out of the C major scale. You're just starting on the E's. So think of it as like if you bite a piece of really good food by a great chef, you and I might take a bite of the same thing. You might hit a certain spice in that food and it might hit a different one, even though all the same. That's kind of what modes are. So yeah, if you were to actually say all the note names in the mode, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, right? E, F, G. Did you hear me say any sharps and flats in there? You did not, right? So that's exactly it. So that's just kind of how you start to put all this together in the long game. And I'm always on the channel, connect the dots, because you know, we're our own worst enemies. So if I'll give you one piece of advice, is have as much fun as you can. Like, trust me, I have days where I wake up and I'm just like, oh, I suck today. Like something's just not clicking. But you know what? You're gonna live to every day is a brand new day. You know, just throw it away, flush it, right, and move on. So let's see if we can do something. And if I shank this in front of you, can you talk about learning? Oh, perfect question. Yeah, before I move on, watch this, massively massive. This is the one I want you to do. This is the money one. I was doing this earlier. Watch this. So here is the C bar chord, right? So we'll do a 3-chord progression. We did this earlier. This is a little loop back to this, but I want you to pay close attention. If you walk away with one thing, just take this, but watch this video again, okay? So C major bar to C triad, okay? And I am on the D, G, B string set. Now that obviously is what? That is a major triad shape. Unless you're on these 3 strings, then it's a minor triad shape. See, that's why music messes so many of us up. But I'm going to get to what you just asked about the triad inside of the pentatonic. This is the perfect place. Then we go down to the G bar chord, and then the G triad, same shape. Let's see, C triad, G triad. Now here, massively massive. This is to answer your question. This is what I want you to work on. You'll get lost in this for hours once it starts clicking for you, once the flow happens, once you're in the zone. Right here, you see the A minor pentatonic. I'm going to kind of zoom in to show you this, and then tell me if this makes sense. So on the A minor bar chord, right here is the A minor triad. So you see A, C, E. I am barring on the B, G, and B string, okay? And then here's the root on the D. Same string set. D, G, B string. So you see, there's your A minor triad, okay? See that? So let me know if this doesn't make sense. Now, you asked about the triad inside of the pentatonic scale. Well, let's think about this. what pentatonic scale, this is where I'm talking about. This is where you're not thinking situational awareness. What pentatonic scale is right there? I'm already inside of that pentatonic shape. It's the A minor pentatonic right there. Look. There's the triad. So what you can do, and I've had a lot of people ask me this, okay? Like, how did you do that little lick right there when you were on the triad? Well, just because I do the A minor pentatonic. I play what's around, right? So I could go somewhere else, but use what's right there. So watch this. See right there, I just did it. I went bar to triad, A minor to A minor triad to a riff or a lick out of the A minor pentatonic scale. Now, again, if you know this position, I could have done a lick back here. I was actually watching that John Mayer video where he talks about the pentatonic equator, and he was showing exactly these two positions. Yeah, that's exactly it, Isaac. And it just gets better and better. Like, see if you can throw in that E Phrygian with that little, like. And don't forget, too, you can go all the way up a whole octave. So you could play up here. You can play the pentatonic if you're on electric. Now, you guys know, too, if I'm playing an acoustic, or actually any of these guitars you see behind me, they're all going to force me to play differently. So sometimes what you want to do too is limit yourself. What I mean by that is, what if I did a lick where I was only to do a slide, no hammer-ons, no pull-offs, no bends? How musical could I do that? I used to have a drummer friend that would take his whole kit apart. He would put his snare down. He would do as many cool things on his snare done musically as he could. Then he'd add the hi-hats. Then he would do as many comments. So it's kind of what we're doing as a guitar player. We're stripping it back, and we're just going to get as musical as we can. So what if we did this triad right here, A bar, A minor bar, A minor triad. See, I already did a pull off there. So I'm going to force my brain into just doing slides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use both shapes. This one and this one. Okay, so watch this, but just slides. See, I just did slides. I don't know, did I cheat? Did I do any hammer-ons or pull-offs? Yeah, do that right. Do that tonight, guys. Good, Isaac. Yeah, do that today. Like limit yourself. Take away, because this is where I did that video. It triggered so many people. I said, stop noodling. And yeah, I noodle all day. Like, noodling's about when you're just aimlessly playing. So see if you can focus your attention into like one technique, right? Maybe you do that, but now what if we just do bends? But we do a slow bend. Again, what's the most paramount? What's paramount to being a good guitar player? A good solid rhythm. So watch this. Same thing. I'll do the C to the C triad, G to the G triad. So we'll just keep this progression to keep it consistent for you guys. A minor to A minor triad, and then we'll do some bends. Watch this. Now that'd be cool if I did a metronome, but see if you can beatbox it. You guys got to try the two. You guys know the pre-bend where you bend it and then hit it? Do you know how to record guitar covers? Yeah, I've been working in studios for like 20 years. So be a little more specific though. Do you mean as far as layering guitars? Like how to, it just depends on the band. Like, let's take an example, like Smashing Pumpkins, right? So if we were doing like a Pumpkins one, The recording's a whole nother thing though, because that's where production techniques come in. Man, I got really lucky. I worked with some amazing engineers, like world-class recording engineers that I just learned. Like, I'm a guitar player and like a writer first and foremost. If you were to upload a guitar cover on YouTube, um, depends. Do you want to do? I think if I were you, one thing that would be cool, and I should do this myself, is I would just get like an acoustic or do like a stripped down version of a song. Um, I think one thing that I always do is I always make the song my own. Do you guys know what I mean? I'm not part of the cover song police. You know, those people that want you to play everything note for note. I'm not saying that you change the song so much that you don't stay true to the song. Listen, I've never played once live and had anyone go, "Oh, you didn't play the bridge part right on that song." So if you were to do it, I would do something like, do you have a massively massive, do you have an acoustic? So if you had an acoustic, it'd be so cool to do like a stripped down version of a song. Um, kind of like I do it with my duet, where let's see, we have like 35 songs now, but depends on what kind of genre you want to do. And, you could, if you, do you have any recording experience? Does anybody on here have any recording experience? It's kind of why I got this MacBook Pro, which I'm doing this live stream on, is I really want to, do some recording sessions, where I go back and forth. I show you the actual, that's like, there's so many parts to that, right? There's the writing of the song, or if you're doing a cover, and then there's the production aspect. Okay, how are we going to do the drums? So, I have a really nice bass. I have a Fender Jazz bass, so I play a lot of bass, mostly by necessity. My mom was a bassist in a band in the 60s. So, the recording is where it gets so fun. I like calling that making an onion, because you're adding layers in as opposed to pulling them apart. So you're adding layers, right? Like, that's another thing. Like the Pumpkins ones too. Like, you could record the basic rhythm tracks, and then you could do an arpeggiated triad part underneath. So like, if you were gonna do like a guitar cover on YouTube, I would start with trying to do something stripped down and simple. Don't get in over your head. Of course, I don't know your level of experience. Makes sense to yeah, man. It totally makes sense to transcribe vocal lines and songs. You know what? Some of the best players in the world like listen to horn players. I don't know if you guys know this too. You probably do, but Flea of the Chili Peppers is an amazing trumpet player. He played trumpet before he played bass. And so a lot of those bass lines are very melodic, right? Because you're not playing chordal stuff. It mostly intervals and root, just single note lines. But that's what vocals are doing. That's another thing too. You can take like a chord like this. If you did like this A minor, and then you can kind of sing it. So if you ever, like, I'm always working on my singing, and of course my mom's a vocal teacher, so that makes it even tougher on me, but you guys can always try and create lines thinking like a vocalist. So if you were to like, let's see, if I were to take my looper, and if you were to just play like an A minor, let's just do it one chord. So like, let's see, and I'll just kind of, I'll just mute it to clamp it down a little bit. Okay, there's the loop going. Now, can you guys hear the loop okay? Just drop in the comments if it's too loud. I'll turn it down a touch. So now I don't have to think about the foundational, the harmonic part. Think like a vocalist, right? So let's create like a vocally line. Sometimes too, you want to take a delay pedal and turn it on, and then use that to play less is more, right? always start simple. Like, just don't get in over your head. It's like, you guys, you know what? The simplest stuff always works the best, and it always will. I mean, let me know your thoughts on that. I heard someone say I should listen to Mariah Carey. Yeah. If you tried to play Mariah Carey vocal lines on the guitar, that's a great idea. I should see if I can do that for a video. Shatter some glass, right? I would be really curious, like, where the high end of her register is. But yeah, it's really cool if you can mimic a vocal line, right? Or listen to like a horn section. Also, too, when you get into production, I've had to write some like horn sections, even though I'm not a brass player, but I just think like a vocalist. And then when I wrote the horn sections for this particular song we were working on, the horns made the song. You know how there's always the hook, the part that just the ear candy, the horns ended up being, and I just thought like a vocalist. When I wrote the horns, the brass section was like singing, you know, but that's pretty much it. So you have a lot of work to do. Yeah, I'll help you guys, man. It's a high F, like up here, or even higher than that, man. That's crazy. Let's get this off. Let's see. There's no way. That's crazy high. You know what? Do you guys know what's a crazy high note? And we'll close up this live stream. And thanks for hanging out, guys. This has been fun. Super stoked this new MacBook is working. I just got this thing so we can start doing stuff like this more. It's super fun making videos for you guys, but the live stream thing is great. I love the interaction, and you guys need to see me hitting shanks, right? But anyways, yeah, so we will do some recording stuff. There's so many things we can try and do. I think it'd be super fun to pick a key and then start trying to actually make a production. So you have a lot of work to do. Yeah, so we all have a lot of work to do, Isaac, every single one of us. I mean, every single player is in their comfort zones. I think what I need to do with you guys too, drop me a comment, whether you do it in post or now. Do you guys want to do any crazy open tunings? Like, I'm talking like crazy cool ones, like open F. I can show you some killer stuff in G. The minor major 7 one, which the Pumpkins did on a song called Mayonnaise. That one. There's another one I did. Sometimes I make up my own. You will get stuff. My favorite key. Ooh, that's a good question. I can tell you my favorite chord in the world, which is F sharp. I love F sharp. Has a certain, I don't have perfect pitch, not even close, but F sharp, it has a certain, like angst to it. Like, listen to F sharp real quick. I know it's kind of hard to go over this crappy compressed bandwidth, but F sharp, and then listen to E flat has like a mellower tone. You have E flat's mellow. Now listen to F sharp. F sharp just has that factor, you know? Know that song, the Pumpkins? I Am One? Oh man, I love that track. Yeah, Stones and open G, F sharp minor 7. Yeah. Hey, I got to show you one more thing before you guys go, because massively massive. You made me think of this. I opened up this Beatles book, right? Because my mom raised me on the Beatles, and they did the craziest thing. I think they did F sharp minor 7. F sharp minor major 7. Let's see. It was crazy. It was like literally one bar of music, and I was like, nobody uses chords like that anymore. You guys need to bring that back. Yeah, Zild, Stones and open G would be fun. I'll tell you something I fully discovered about open G. I never could think about this, but then it kind of dawned on me. I could be wrong. You guys tell me. Maybe Zild, maybe you know. He doesn't have the low E on his string because when you tune to open G, your low E always ends up, I don't think it ends up being your root note. So it made a lot of sense as to why he would move it. But if you ever want to just like sit there and get lost in just jamming, grab an acoustic, tune it to open G, and it's just unbelievable. Like open tunings are cool because all your chord knowledge goes out the door. And then you just have to hunt for sounds. That's really what I love most about guitar is just you hunt for sounds. You're hunting for things, right? So yeah, right on. I thought so, Zild. Yeah. So I did. There is you guys should go check out this video. It keeps getting views, but I did 22 chords in open G, and I just show a close up of my hand, and I made the charts. And so I just kind of show you 22 of them. Just pick them and see what you can do. I'm not Canadian. It's weird. I am in Idaho, of all places. I'm a surfer trapped in Idaho. I grew up in Southern California, near like so that's why my band, we played like the whole LA scene, all of SoCal, but all of California moved to Idaho. I don't know if you guys have been hearing about that. You know, the pandemic hit, but the beauty of that is the house I bought is amazing. So this is kind of like my creative space, and everything's hanging on the wall. Yeah, so but I met a lot of cool Canadians. That's why I love hearing where you guys are from. Yeah, I think, the open tunings are becoming more mainstream amongst younger players. Probably. I think part of the problem with the world now, I mean, this is just my opinion, is there's so much disconnect. Are you guys like seeing that too? There's not as many bands. And I think it's because, look at me. I mean, I still want to be in bands. That's why I do this. But like, you can start a YouTube channel and then you further isolate yourself. So that's why I think it's really important with me. Yeah, you're in Eastern Washington. Yeah, Sean plays guitar. We have a lot of people from Washington, Oregon. When they're building In-N-Out burgers in Idaho, that there's a lot of Californians here, right? So Ontario, yeah, drop in there. Okay. I've never been to Canada. I got to go. My brother's been there like so many times with his job. But I would love to go to Canada. A lot of great bands in Canada. I will say I was heavily raised on Rush, because I had a cool young aunt and uncle that used to babysit me in the summers, and my best memories are his house and listening to Rush. Isaac, you're in the UK? Yeah, I have a ton of people on here from the UK. I'd love to go there. My brother's actually he's in Europe. He's in, I think, Italy though right now. But yeah, you guys, so let's keep this going. So I'm super stoked you guys came in here. I wasn't sure how this was going to go. I just know I think I need these live streams for my sanity. But yeah, if you guys want me to do any like kind of players' perspectives on the guitars, let me know. I will say, man, if you want a Les Paul, you just got to get a Les Paul. If you want the sound one, Fenders and Les Pauls, there's just a certain amount of DNA built into those. The differences. Remember how I said the PRSs were like too perfect, which is great. But Neil Peart was born where you're from. Yeah, man, it's so sad he's gone, man. You just don't have many virtuoso bands where you got like Neil, Alex, and but anyway. Yeah, the Isbell Telly is next, man. That thing is sick. Check this out. Yeah. I'm not going to play it, but let me just show you and we'll wrap it up with that. Yeah, thank you guys for coming in. Yeah, the triad lessons just keep going. I finished the last triad set for the major ones. That's more of like an encyclopedic thing. So grab all the chord charts. If you guys want me to, I'll take them all and make them into one PDF, like all the major triads, and then I'm going to start minor triad sets probably tomorrow. But let's get that Isbell Telly real fast. This guy is sick. Now, I'm not a fan of relic guitars. I think they're kind of, I don't want to say it's not nice. They're not lame. Hey, whatever you love, you love. But this one's got that kind of light relic on it. The only thing is it's very flat. It's not 3D at all. But I like it. It's just kind of chill, Hardtail, It's kind of got like his wear. I think this is really cool. I think this is a tattoo of his. I like Jason Isbell. He's a cool dude. The neck is glorious though. I think it's a thin C. right? A thin C neck. So the neck thing is sick. Yeah, it's like a muted relic, but here's a trippy thing about this guitar. The radius is 7 1/4. So if you've never played a 7 1/4 inch radius, you can feel the curve, right? And so you have to play it different. The strings lie a little closer to the fret edge. But they like rolled the fretboard on this. Tim Shaw pickups. They sound unbelievable. It's kind of got like the barrel saddle system, but this guitar rips. The neck is like, I wouldn't say it's thin. I guess it's called like a thin C, but the neck is like worn. It feels like an old guitar. So this thing is killer. Yeah, I'll play this thing next. But this is kind of like, you know, you can pretty much play anything on this. But that's pretty much it. So you guys are so awesome for coming in. I love doing this for you guys. And how do you feel about Metal on a Telly? Hey man, doesn't Jim Root of what band's he in? I know my daughter loves that band. You know Jim Root, lots of Tellys, man. If look, you know what? I could play this guitar and survive in any band. So, you know, that's it. So I will do another one soon. If I don't see you guys before then, I'll be dropping videos. You guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. I'm just going to a restaurant with my girlfriend, so I'm going to make it low key, play a little acoustic on the couch, but that's it. All right, guys. Peace. I will see you guys in the next live stream, and thanks for coming in. Later.